I wasn't hoping to do another video till next week for the show, but as most of you probably know by now, Mitsuharu Misawa tragically passed away today at a Pro Wrestling Noah show in Hiroshima. I'll read you the little piece that Dave Meltzer wrote on F4WOnline.com. Mitsuharu Misawa, one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time, was declared dead at 10:10 p.m. Saturday night, that's in Japan, at a hospital in Hiroshima from an apparent heart attack after being given a back suplex in a tag team title match. Misawa would have turned 47 on June the 18th. Misawa, the president of Pro Wrestling Noah, was teaming with Go Shiozaki in a match challenging Bison Smith and Akitoshi Saito for the GHC tag team titles in Hiroshima. Misawa was given the move at about 9:15 and knocked unconscious. There were about 27 minutes into the match when the referee immediately stopped the match, seeing what had happened. According to eyewitness reports, Saito gave Misawa a routine back suplex that was described as a 7 in danger on a scale of 1 to 10. He did not get up. It was chaos in the ring as they attempted to revive him using CPR, and the crowd was hushed for a while and began a Misawa chant. He turned purple in the ring and was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. His heart stopped beating in the ring. The wrestlers were told on the bus that he had passed away. While it is being reported that he passed away at the hospital, he may have actually passed away in the ring. So, on one final note, this is very interesting. I just caught this. The movie The Wrestler opens tonight, or it opened tonight in Japan. Because of the finish of the movie, this has become part of the story in some outlets in Japan. That's a weird coincidence, but a little bit more info on Misawa. He was an amateur wrestler. He was a very good amateur wrestler. He had won the high school national wrestling championship in Japan at 187 pounds in 1980. He also placed 5th at the 1980 Freestyle World Championships. And then he was recruited by Giant Baba. He was trained by Baba, the Destroyer, Dick Beyer, and Dory Funk Jr. His debut was August 21st, 1981, and then from about 1984 to 1990, he was the second Tiger Mask. And not a weird note, but a pretty interesting note, he was the only Tiger Mask of the 4 Tiger Masks that there have been. He was the only one that was a heavyweight. Of course, the match where he took off the mask to become himself was May 14th, 1990, teaming up with Toshiaki Kawada in a tag match against Yoshiaki Yatsu and Hiromichi Fuyuki. Of course, after the death of Giant Baba back in 1999, he became the president of All Japan Pro Wrestling, and then he had disagreements with Motoko Baba, Shohei's wife, and Misawa decided, I'm done, I'm going to create a new promotion. Pro Wrestling Noah was born, taking basically almost all of the All Japan wrestlers with him to Pro Wrestling Noah, and they became big. Of course, he came here in the U.S. to Ring of Honor for 2 shows at Glory by Honor 6. And I want to tell a funny story, then I'm going to tell you about all his accomplishments. The weekend that happened was the weekend of my sister's wedding. So I had to miss out on Misawa coming to the U.S. for Ring of Honor in Philadelphia and New York. Because if it wasn't for the wedding, I would have been there both nights. But, you know, I was glad that my friend Ben got a chance to get to see him wrestle here in the U.S. So let's talk about his accomplishments in his career. Of course, he only worked for 2 promotions, All Japan and Pro Wrestling Noah. During his time in All Japan, He held the All-Asia Tag Team titles twice with Kenta Kobashi and Yoshinari Ogawa. He held the Triple Crown Heavyweight title 5 times. Held the Unified World Tag Team title 6 times. Twice with Kawada, twice with Kobashi, once with Jun Akiyama, and once with Ogawa. Held the NWA International Junior Heavyweight title. Held the PWF World Tag Team titles with Jumbo Tsuruta and the Champions Carnival in 1995 and 98. Won the World's Strongest Tag League event 4 years in a row. In 92 with Kawada. In 93 through 95 with Kobashi. And then in Pro Wrestling Noah, 3-time GHC Heavyweight Champion, 2-time Tag Champ with Yoshinari Ogawa, and won the Global Tag League this year with Go Shiozaki. And Pro Wrestling Illustrated ranked him in 1997 the #2 best wrestler in the world in 1997, the PWI 500. He's the closest one to any of the international stars to have been #1. The guy that was #1 that year, for those of you who don't know, and this may be an interesting surprise for you guys, was Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko was #1 in 1997. And then the 5-star matches he's had, according to the Observer newsletter. March 9, 1985, Kuniaki Kobayashi. June 8, 1990 with Jumbo Tsuruta. That's the match for me that made me a Misawa fan. He also had another one in 1990 on October the 19th, teaming up with Kawada and Kobashi against Jumbo Tsuruta, Akira Teo, and Masanobu Fuchi. He had so many 5-star matches. I don't think I'd have enough time to even read you the 5-star matches. But, you know, it's weird because a couple weeks ago, I felt a big deal that Bison Smith pinned Misawa during the Global Tag League event. I thought that was a big deal because Misawa really doesn't get pinned that much, and when he does, it should be a big deal, big news. You know, it's weird. It really is weird because he's a guy, even though he was in his mid-40s, you know, he was still active. He was still going each and every night. And this is just a tragedy. I mean, he was never on steroids. He never did drugs. Never did all that stuff that would have made, you know, some of the younger wrestlers pass away. He died from a heart attack in the ring. I mean, you can never expect any of this stuff to happen, and it's terrible. I mean, it is a sad day. I think this one has to rank among, as far as Japan goes in wrestling, as one of the most shocking deaths ever. I think it goes up there with Tsuruta, because Tsuruta died in his 40s. And, you know, he was a semi-regular wrestler at the time. But he died in the ring. I mean, I was at the Ring of Honor show in Manassas last night. And, you know, that was an event that was so much fun. You know, it makes you feel great to be a wrestling fan when you're having fun watching a show, no matter if it's live or on DVD. And Misawa always did that. He always, whenever you watched his matches, you knew they were going to be good. And, you know, I'm going to throw out a term that to me gets used way too much, sometimes for the wrong wrestlers, but Misawa was a living legend in this business. He truly was a living legend in this sport. And, you know, if I could sum this up to end this video, I'm going to use a line in the Bret Hart book. You know, there was that, you were just waiting for 3 in a row, you know, as far as people dying. You didn't know who. It's a sad fact. It started with Buddy Rose, then it went to the Golden Greek John Tolos, and unfortunately it's gone to Mitsuharu Misawa, a legend who has been taken away from us way too soon. And no doubt he's going to be missed by everybody in the wrestling world, including me.